Hello all, Rick here with a video for the month of October, looking at something frightful from Star Trek, the computer entity known as fear as seen in the Thaw. The clown, also known simply as fear, was created by mistake, and its very emergence proliferated its existence in a cycle of self-sustaining terror. In 3553, a Delta Quadrant species settled on Kol, but the planet suffered an environmental catastrophe, albeit a temporary one. A dangerous solar flare forced them underground and damaged the biosphere of their planet for around 15 years. This created extreme radiation and magnetic storms, as well as ushering in a long winter, and the 400,000 colonists left or withdrew. This led them to enter into a stasis, but unusually for such technology, they derived a method to keep their minds active and engaged while in their sleep. The technology was to create a network amid their own minds in a construct that would simulate a safe and engaging environment based on their own thoughts that they could persevere in. However, there was an unexpected development. While the technology worked as intended, unfortunately the networked minds all had their own fears on a subconscious level that were eventually made manifest into this entity. It took months to emerge into a threat, but the program quickly learned that it could sustain its own existence and gain greater control over the program by exacerbating the fear in its connected minds. So it set about acting on their greatest terrors, making them experience them, and in turn its influence over the program grew until it even had the ability to prevent them from even waking. While networked together, the program had unlimited access to their memories, with the only caveat being that when a new mind joined the network it took a few minutes to access that new psyche. The clown would easily sift through a person's mind, probing for concerns, phobias, and other dark feelings, then do its utmost to bring those fears to light and recreate an environment or experience to deliberately terrify. Even a controlled mind was in danger of fear, as the program was patient, cruel, and vindictive in its motivations. With its greater control of the stasis system, it eventually had learned how to convince the connected mind and pain receptors to experience its torturous acts as real sensation, and could even simply kill those connected through the emotional trauma. As long as there was at least one mind connected to the stasis program, the clown had ample experiences to draw from to sustain its own existence, and it cared not for quantity, simply that it persisted. Its abilities were similar to those of a holodeck, the virtual environment effectively responding to its will, and by the time it was encountered by Voyager, it had settled on a twisted circus, populated with other programs under its control, drawn from the psyche of the 3 remaining colonists. The original purpose of the program was to study and preserve the minds of those connected via stimulating experiences to keep them engaged and sane. To facilitate this, it had access to everything it needed to manifest anything the minds could conceive of. This included the ability to alter the connected person's perception of themselves. Like fear, it was often irrational and unpredictable, but ultimately, like fear, it is an emotion that could not be sustained indefinitely, ending up being defeated. It also had a limited amount of attention that could only concentrate on a few things at a time, which was an exploitable technological weakness. Fortunately, the clown was eventually destroyed when it encountered the one thing more terrifying than fear itself: Captain Catherine Janeway. She reasoned that the purpose of fear, beneath all the primal fright or flight, was to be overcome. In the same way, people enjoy deliberate frights, horror, and the like. And the crew of the USS Voyager connected her mind to the network, but did not let her pass into its clutches, instead sending in a hologram replica of her with a message as a trade for the other crewmates. Coupled with giving fear no time to plan, only act in self-preservation. Once the colonists were released from its grasp, the fear entity gradually realised it could not sense the holographic Janeway, and there were in fact no minds left to sustain it. As the entity diminished and the program shut down, it confessed to feeling fear of its own to a remorseless avatar of Janeway. The program was terminated in 2372, and then the only two survivors of the Coral Settlement released 4 years after their initial plan. That covers the Fear program of Voyager. Thank you for watching this Bestiary, and until the next video, I've been Rick. Thanks again, and goodbye.